What if I told you the version of Invincible we see across seasons 1 to 4 still might not be enough to beat a younger, more ruthless Omni-Man? Yeah, the same Omni-Man who survived the Viltrumite purge, fought through the Scourge virus era, and kept conquering planets like it was nothing. Today, we're breaking it all down. Every fight, every power jump, every brutal moment. To answer one question, can Season 4 Invincible actually defeat Young Omni-Man? I'm aiming to hit 1,000 subscribers before Avengers Doomsday comes out. If you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to hit subscribe and join the community. Before we even talk about Invincible, we need to understand who Omni-Man really is. Nolan wasn't just trained, he was forged on Viltrum. Strength isn't taught the way humans understand it. It's beaten into you, tested constantly, refined through pain. And by Season 4, we get a deeper look into just how brutal that upbringing really was. Young Nolan wasn't just sparring with random soldiers. He was pushed to fight at the highest level from the very beginning. We're talking about a version of Nolan who could go head-to-head with both his father and his mother during training. Not in a friendly way, not in a controlled environment, but in true Viltrumite fashion, where hesitation is weakness and survival is the only thing that matters. Think about that for a second. His own parents, two fully developed, elite Viltrumites, coming at him with killing intent. And Nolan didn't break. He adapted. He endured. He fought back. Here's the key. This is young Nolan. He had just become an adult during these battles. He hadn't yet accumulated thousands of years of combat experience. This is the Nolan we see in Season 4, Episode 2. Still raw, still learning, but already terrifyingly capable. That kind of upbringing doesn't just make you strong. It creates a fighter who is conditioned for a constant war, immune to pressure, and capable of making lethal decisions instantly. So when we say young Omni-Man, we're not just talking about raw power. We're talking about a war-born Viltrumite who survived his own bloodline trying to break him.
Who's next?
Now let's talk about Mark, because Invincible doesn't stay weak for long. Season 1 Invincible is barely understanding his powers. He gets destroyed by Omni-Man. He struggles with basic combat. That final fight, it wasn't close. It was a lesson. By Season 2, he starts adapting. His durability improves, but he's still emotionally conflicted. He's stronger, but still not ready for Viltrumite-level war. By Season 3, his combat instincts improve massively. He starts fighting more strategically, and for the first time, he begins to feel like a true Viltrumite. Then comes Season 4. This is where things change. Mark reaches a new level of endurance. He takes brutal hits and keeps going. He starts closing the gap with elite Viltrumites. But the real question is growth enough to overcome experience? Because when you look at the fights, the difference becomes clear. When Omni-Man fought the Guardians of the Globe, it was a speed blitz, tactical, precise, efficient, no hesitation. When he fought Invincible, it was complete domination, not just physically, but mentally. He used the environment. He controlled the pace. He broke Mark down. As the seasons progress, fights become longer, more brutal, more strategic. And yes, Mark improves, but so do the enemies he faces. And this is exactly why young Nolan is such a problem. Because while Mark is learning through experience, Nolan was raised in it. Most fighters develop over time, but Nolan, he was fighting for his place in the Empire from childhood, against enemies who were stronger, faster, and more ruthless than anything Mark faced early on, including his own parents. That level of pressure does something different. It sharpens your instincts to the point where you don't second guess, you don't hesitate, and you don't hold back. So when Nolan enters a fight, he's not figuring things out, he's executing. And that brings us to what this really comes down to: experience versus potential. Invincible has growth, adaptability, emotional strength. But even as a young adult, Omni-Man has raw combat skill honed through extreme training, a killer instinct, and zero hesitation. And in Viltrumite combat, hesitation gets you killed. So who wins? Season 1 and 2 Invincible? Omni-Man destroys him. Season 3 Invincible? He puts up a fight, but still loses. Season 4 Invincible? Now it gets close, but against this young, just turned adult Omni-Man in his prime. Omni-Man still takes it. High difficulty, because at the end of the day, Mark is still becoming what Nolan already was. And this is where that training really matters. Because Season 4 Invincible might have the strength, but young Nolan has something far more dangerous. He's already survived the kind of battles that would break most Viltrumites, including facing his own blood. That edge is the difference between fighting to win and fighting because losing was never an option. But here's where it gets interesting. Invincible's story was never just about becoming stronger than Omni-Man. It's about becoming something Nolan never was. So the real question is, will Mark ever surpass Omni-Man? Or redefine what strength really means? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want more deep breakdowns like this, hit subscribe.